Right guys, welcome back to Chop's Garage, and this is the Volvo V50 T5 that we picked up from main dealer Part Exchange Yard. So this is a 2007 with I think it's 91,000 miles on it, full service history, and it's a T5 V50 Automatic. And look at the thing guys, it has been properly loved, this car. Now we're told the reason for part exchange is due to the running costs, which is understandable. Road tax is high, fuel economy isn't great, because what runs in this, if you don't already know, is the same 2.5 turbocharged engine as you get in a Focus ST. Although I am told that these in the Volvo are more reliable, they have less problems with them. I don't know if that's down to the drivers. There's a bit of thought over that. Like I say, this has been very well looked after. It hasn't been mucked around with. It's got no boost increases or ECU play around with, and it has got a full service history. So I had a call from my main dealer saying he had it in and didn't want to come down and make an offer. Now in the current market, obviously with the way fuel prices are and the way the press wants to tell us all that the world's about to implode in on itself, and with everyone seems to thinking they need to spend £2,000 more to save £100 a year on road tax, it's probably not the type of car that you should be buying at the moment. But there's a bum for every seat, and this is a little bit special. Asking around, quite a few people have told me this is a bit of a unicorn car. This combination of the 2.5 turbo in the estate with the automatic gearbox, this colour and leather combination is pretty rare apparently. So obviously the big thing about this is the performance side of things. These, according to online, put out 227 brake horsepower, 320 newton meters of torque, which allows them to hit 60 in 6.9 seconds and 147 mile an hour. So this is a quick car. For an estate, it's a blooming quick car. And I guess this appeals to those kind of people that do like to go quickly, do like the power available, but don't want to shout about it, and also want to transport the occasional big piece of equipment, I guess. So a bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing, I guess. If you want a bit of a sleeper, this is the thing to go for. So have a quick look around the car. The condition of it is really good. Now do bear in mind this obviously is a 07 car, so the definition of really good versus a 2-year-old car is slightly different, but this is really good for a 2007 car. So starting with the alloy, it's very small amount of curbing on the alloy there, loads of rubber on the tyre. The front wing is free of any stone chipping or rust. Wing mirror cap's good, there's no damage to that at all, no scrapes. Doors are really good. I can't see any dings along here at all, other than a tiny little mark just here, which to be fair would polish out if I got the polisher out. Plastics are all in good nick. This rear wheel is unmarked. There's one tiny little chip just there, and again loads of tread on the tyre. No rust or anything on the arches. Again, there is a very shallow ding just here, very shallow, and it's a nice flat panel, so I imagine a panel guy could pull that out quite easily. But because of the colour, it doesn't jump out in your face. Coming around the back, it's really good around here. We've got rear parking sensors. This is normally where you get loads of scuffing from loading, but there's nothing like that at all on here. All the paintwork's in good nick. Roof, no dings and dents in the roof. Again, this rear quarter panel is bang on. I haven't machine polished or anything this could, you know, with a machine polish this would really pop. I did give it a clean because I've driven it a little bit, but nothing major. This alloy's got a little bit of damage there, but overall good. Again, loads of tyre. Doors again free of damage. Wing mirror cap free of scraping. Front wing, again, little stone chip just there. The front alloy here is free of curbing. There's no curbing on that alloy at all. So really for 2007, fantastic. There's one tiny bit of paint I'd do here if I was retailing. I'd clean this up and just blend in that a little bit, because it's so good elsewhere, doesn't seem a lot of point leaving that. But yeah, I think you'd have to agree for 2007 that is in fantastic nick. Wait till you get a look at the inside though, guys. If you thought that was good enough, wait until you get a look at the inside. Now, it did come with fitted Volvo mats, which I'm yet to give a clean. But if we look at the door cards, this leather on the door card there, perfect. No damage to that at all. All the buttons, really good nick. No wear at all on them. All the whites are really bright. Electric seat, which works. I have used that. All those buttons again in great nick. Now, there is a little bit of wear on the bolts here, which you'd expect for the mileage. But overall, and to be fair, actually some cream... what do you call it, leather dye would tidy that right up, or balm, sorry, would tidy that right up. But passenger seat's really good, very little wear on the bolster on that. But again, all the buttons, all the whites really pop. You know how over time they get worn down a little bit. No such wear at all, really. All in cracking nick. Let me just get the keys in it so you can see the mileage, because I can't remember exactly what the mileage is. Oh, what I meant to show you was the carpets. Look, the genuine Volvo mats. I'll go around and show you the other side in a minute. Really saved the carpets on this. So, key in. 91671. She starts and runs lovely. No engine management lights on her. I might as well do that now, I guess, mightn't I? She's in park. All it's telling us is the driver's door's open. Spec wise, we've got cruise control. So we've got all round electric windows, electric mirrors, air conditioning, heated seats. How well, I haven't tested those to be honest, how well they work. Sound system's good. I had that on the way through. Nice sound system. You've got a manual option of going here to go up and down through the gears. Someone's put an aftermarket Bluetooth kit in it. I haven't tested that, so I wouldn't sell it as having had Bluetooth because it's aftermarket. If it's aftermarket, I never note it as a thing really, because I can't guarantee on its functionality. Right, let me show you the rest of the interior. The back seats, the leather's really supple and nice. No marking or tears or anything like that. The carpets are bang on. They are absolutely bang on, guys. No marks in the carpets at all. All the door shuts are lovely and clean. And then the boot, which you expect on a Volvo to add a bit of a caning, either through dogs or through furniture. Look at it. Mint. Absolutely mint. Underneath here you've got your little divider, and then you've got spare wheel in there, locking wheel nut. So comment down below, guys, what do you reckon? Like I say, I have thrown a bucket over it, given it a bit of wash, cleaned the plastics a little bit, but I haven't done any machine polishing or any real deep cleaning on it at all. Let me show you underneath the engine bay. Service history wise, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I've got one for 2021 here. I think there's one for 2020 in there as well. Here we've got, you know, brake cleaner, synthetic oil, oil filter, brake fluid change. So they've done a whole brake fluid change as well. Spark plugs. I put some CV boots on. This car has been looked after, properly looked after. Now there will be a clip in a moment where I go and see Lee at Barham Engines. You have to go in after this, otherwise the video won't make sense. Where I asked him to have a little look at this engine when it was dirty. I've given it a clean since. But there we go. It's the 5-cylinder turbocharged engine. Like I say, same as in the Focus ST. As I said, it puts out, I think it's 227 brake horsepower and 320 newton meters of torque. So it gives you 0 to 60 under 7 seconds and well over 145 mile an hour. All the coolant's lovely and clear, as you'd expect with a car with this history. I think it might be coming up due a service, I can't quite remember. Oil's a good colour, not too dirty. And I haven't seen any leaks from the gearbox or anything like that. It's not been leaving any oil on the ground. So yeah, lovely underneath there. So I did capture some footage while I was driving it around, so I'll pop that in for you now. But comment down below, So far, what are your thoughts on the Volvo? Do you think I scored there? I guess you're going to have to see the test drive to know for sure, aren't you? But comment down below, yeah, what's your thoughts on the Volvo so far? So we're out in the V50. I've done all my rounds this morning. So I drove it home and back last night. This morning I've done all my rounds. I had to pop into Screwfix, get a new jet wash. I had to pop in to see Lee, which you're going to see later in this video, with his opinion of the engine in this car, because he knows his engine's inside out. We popped and saw Stuart at Alfa Ragazzi for old time's sake. Popped into Island Motorcycles, and then nipped over to the main dealers to pick up some registration documents for some of the cars, including this one. So actually I've done a lot of driving in this car already before this point in the video, and so far my impressions of the car are that it's really good. It's super smooth, changes gear lovely, no problems at all with the gearbox. I know some people said at this age the concern was the gearbox. Yeah, changes gear absolutely lovely, smooth as you like, kicks down nicely. No smoke, no heat issues at all, temperature stays bang on halfway. No warnings on a dash other than a park assist service, which I think is because I've got my tray plates hanging over the rear parking sensors, because I wasn't there before, I'm sure of it. The engine itself is quiet. Obviously it's low profile tyres, so it's not quite as soft a ride as Volvo's can be. So if I do it now and give it a kick down, you can see we're off. And the gear changes super smooth, no issues at all. Now, I did my normal run home last night through those bendy bits, you know, I enjoy so much. And what I'd say about this car is it's one of those cars where you don't realise you're making the progress you are. It doesn't feel like you're going particularly quickly, but then you look down and realise actually you are, and there's no drama through the corners. It actually handles really well. I haven't driven a Volvo that handles well before. I'm not used to just having armchair ones you waft around in. So that's a pleasant surprise. You turn in, there's just no body roll, really. Not like Suzuki levels of no body roll, but very little body roll. And it's got loads of torque. It doesn't seem to have to be changing down much at all. You can string a load of corners together uphill, and it doesn't seem to need to move down at all. So in terms of things I found wrong with it, the only thing I'd say is if I let go of the wheel, it does want to track to the left, and I'm feeling a little bit of vibration on the left hand corner. So if I turn right, it's alright. If I'm turning left, there's a little bit of a vibration, so it's alright here. Well, actually no, I can feel it a little bit there. And turning left here, should feel a bit more here. Oh, it does grip well. It does grip well. Needed to, didn't I? I went in there quite quick. So yeah, something's going on I think with the front left. I think it's an out of balance wheel. It's got that real feeling of out of balance, because it's a little bit more apparent when you brake, but it'll also do it when you accelerate out of the corner. You can feel a little bit of vibration there. So I'm thinking we could possibly even have a warped wheel. It's not outrageous, so I'm not sure it's a warped wheel, but it's definitely out of balance over there. Could be a drive shaft, I guess. I don't think it's brakes, because it's not specifically when you're braking. So we'll have to get that checked out and see what that is, unless this car ends up going out trade, in which case, if I sell them out trade, I just say to the people, this is what I found so far, and that will be one of the things listed. I don't think it's overly, I don't think it's anything serious, because it just drives so nice. So I say engine and gearbox feel bang on, so something on the outside of the wheel there could be suspension, I guess. So I can feel it here ever so slightly, a bit of vibration through the, there we go, turning left at a slower speed. Feel a little bit of vibration coming through the steering wheel. So we'll get that checked out. I say if I retail it, and I say if I trade it, you don't put any money into them, you just tell people what you think the faults are, because they want they have the margin for the recon anyway. Yeah, so yeah, my impressions of these are that it's a nice car. I mean, it's just it does take off. Yeah, the reason I think it might be wheel related is once you start to get up to a certain speed, it goes away. So it's lower down when you're hard accelerating, and then as you get to speed, it goes away.
And if you accelerate more smoothly, you don't really feel it at all. But I feel it here braking here. I can feel it coming from my arms a little bit there. So yeah. Yeah, it's a wafter. It's a fast wafter, really. It doesn't feel as wafty as my V70 did. That's obviously a great big old armchair of a thing. But yeah, like I say, one of those cars you really don't realise you're making the progress you are until you look down at the speedo and you realise you've linked a load of corners together without any drama, and you're doing the national speed limit already. Now I am more tempted to trade this out than I am to retail it. The reason being, it's a 91,000 mile 2007 car. The warranty from warranty wise is going to be a bronze at this age of miles, which is only going to cover major components, and to be honest, they probably wouldn't pay out. I know the service history is pretty bang on, but I think they'd be looking for any outs on it if it was engine related. They'll cover suspension, drive shafts, all the kind of, well, the things I'm thinking might be wrong with this now actually. They'll cover all those kind of things. They're not going to cover all the electrical gubbins in it. So you really have to, if you're going to retail it, you really have to sell it to the right person. Someone who understands they're buying a 91,000 2007 car. You know, you've got a 15-year-old car. You know, your expectation should be, I'm going to have to do some repairs on it unless something major fails. So yeah, I think trading out is probably the best bet, or selling it to a consumer, spares or repair. Just remember though, spares or repair means they can't drive the car on the road, and it has to be transported away, or I have to have it delivered on a trailer. That's the only way I can do spares or repair. Whereas obviously trade, you just trade sale, they can test drive it, they can check it out, they can do whatever they like with it. When they buy it trade, it's all on them, whatever happens after that. So yeah, for retail on this, you'd want a huge margin on it, huge margin for, and you just couldn't deal with someone local that would pop back every 5 minutes because a knob or a switch wasn't working, or you know, there was a little noise coming from somewhere. She sure will pick up her skirt and go. So I guess this is like the perfect compromise, isn't it? Someone who needs something they can load stuff in, doesn't want something that looks majorly flashy, but when they want to, they can go out and have a hoon in it, progress fastly, have a bit of fun through the corners and shock a lot of other stuff, I guess. And also doesn't want to have to be faffing around changing gear all the time. The V70s are quite a big old beast, so I guess this is a bit better if you don't want to have to find great big parking spaces all the time. And obviously it's a lot heavier, they're probably thirsty. I'm very impressed with the fuel economy, so I've not got any fuel economy numbers to look at, but all I know is I picked it up when it was one notch over empty, and I've done a lot of miles in it, and it's actually still only just going into the red, so I'm quite impressed. It doesn't seem to have eaten up the fuel. Sorry, my battery's totally dead, and I realised I forgot I had a load of jobs to run this morning. That's all right. And my battery's been dead, and I thought, oh god, I hope he hasn't been there since 8 this morning or something. Oh, okay, ideal. Ideal. Measure up, yeah. Cool. How you doing? I'm alright, I'm James. Good. Very nice to meet you. Nice to see your channel. Oh, you have you? Yeah. I'm a bit of a YouTuber. No. How are you? Yeah. What, Ian put you onto it? Or? So did Ian put you on to watching it, or have you seen it already?
Ian mentioned it.
Right, okay. We're going to come and see Lee. Lee, you're going to tell me with my 2.5 ST engine is any good or not, because you love those engines, that 2.5 ST engine. Well, you're going to tell me if there's a problem with it or not, aren't you? What do you reckon? It's in a Volvo, not in a Ford.
Should be alright if it's in a Volvo.
Why is that?
I think it's something to do with the management.
Engine management.
They don't seem to give trouble in Volvo, they do on the Fords.
Right, okay.
Just from our experience, so it should be alright, James.
We'll get him to have a quick listen in a second. Right, so we'll get Lee to have a little listen. It's in park, isn't it?
Sweet as a nut.
Sweet as a nut. That's my strap line. You can't be nicking that. Jesus.
As you would say.
Sounds alright, doesn't it?
Sounds fine, mate.
What's the symptoms that go wrong with these when they do crack liners?
In the Fords, overheating issues. They warp the head, warp the block, distort the bores, do big ends.
Right.
Crank.
So quite obvious
Not
stuff then.
Very rarely are any issues on the Volvos, weirdly.
So Ford did something
again,
wrong then?
Most of these, the Ford ones are in Focus STs with 400 or 500 horsepower.
Are you saying something about the drivers of Focus ST drivers? I think we'll cut it off there before Lee gets himself in big trouble. But it's officially signed off now. Warranty's going to Borough Engine if there's any engine problems. Alfa Ragazzi, I don't think he wants to be on camera. He's running away. He said his 911 is up for sale. So those who watched the channel for a while will remember we got this 911 from auction. We've got it specifically, even though we're working together, we got it specifically at the time for Stuart. He really wanted one. And we saw this come up at the salvage auction. It was a Cat N. If you remember rightly, it had the lightest little ding in the bumper here. And you might think, why would they, again, this is a prime example of Cat N type stuff, what bargain they are. You might think, why would they write the car off for breaking the rear bumper? The issue with it was, when it hit the exhaust pipes. And because the engine is here, that bent the exhaust manifolds, and the exhaust system from Porsche was ridiculous money. I think it was something like £6,000 or something like that, with all the manifolds and the silencers and all that kind of thing. So the bumper was entirely repairable. As you can see, you can't tell where it was repaired, and the colour match is bang on. And got an aftermarket exhaust system on it. Absolute result. Now, obviously, being a salvage car, it didn't come with a history. Well, Stuart lucked out. He got onto the old Porsche forum and found the previous owner, and it turned out, because we looked at the car at the time, it turned out that he absolutely lucked out so well. This had a full history. I don't know if he ever got it from the owner or not, but just before the bump, the owner had spent something like £6,000 on the car. He had the IMS bearing done. He had these new discs put on, vented and drilled discs and pads, and a number of other things. Big old bill from Porsche Direct, or was it Specialist? Can't remember 100%. Should be able to fill you in more. Yeah, he absolutely scored with it, and he's been driving it ever since with no problems at all. I think there might be a slight fault with the Targa roof. I'm not quite sure about it. I'd have to confirm with him. But yeah, he's been driving it around now. Trouble is, he only does about, honest to God, about 1.5 miles to work and back. So this is not the car to be used. So he's thinking he might well actually go electric for the distance it is between here and home. Yeah, mileage 136k. Interior's in good nick. No rips or tears. Like I say, it's the automatic Tiptronic. He's got the levers up there. And he's got a DAB aftermarket radio system in it. Like I always say, when you start getting to this age, if you're buying one at full price, the odds of it having had some paintwork at some point is incredibly high. Incredibly high. This was no structural damage whatsoever, just panel damage. Those who saw the video when we originally got it will know that. It literally was cracked bumper and the exhaust system. And let's face it, most of them have got an aftermarket exhaust system on now as well, haven't they? So to save 20-25% over normal price, there's no reason you wouldn't do it, really. So I just confirmed with Stuart, it's 16.5 he's asking for the car. So with current Porsche prices, that's an absolute bargain, isn't it, really? What else can you get for that kind of money in the current market like this? So I'll put his contact details in the video below. He has got a little wiggle room for you. So yeah, someone snaffled a bit of a bargain. So we brought her back inside the dry. We don't want to get her dirty after her being this clean. So the invariable question is, how much, James? How much are you going to sell it for? What are you going to do with it? Now, as I said, I think I'd rather trade this out or sell it spares and repair. Although it doesn't really need repair. Obviously, that's the only way I can sell it to a consumer without putting a warranty on it and having to do full prep and everything else, which, you know, I don't really want to be sending out a 2007 car with 90-odd thousand miles on it and be on the hook. Which is why, you know, most dealers send them through auction. So yeah, so I can sell it to a trader as is. I can sell it to anybody who owns a business or is authorised to buy for a business as is. I just can't sell to a consumer, a member of the public as is. The only way I can sell it that way is spares and repair, which means they're not allowed to drive it on the road. They can only drive it around the private land here, and I have to either have it trailered to them or they have to pick it up on a trailer. They're not allowed to drive away in it, regardless of how good a car it is. So that's probably the way I'm going to do it. The price point for it's going to be $3,000, I think, on that basis. Retail for it is about 4.5, maybe even a bit more. So that would be the other option, would be to retail it. I would want that kind of margin, that £1,500 margin in it, to send it out for an MOT, get it serviced, because it is saying a service is due. So to get it serviced, get it MOT'd, put a warranty on it, which I probably aren't going to be able, you know, for reasons earlier, probably not going to be able to use warranty wise, so I'd be self-warrantying it. I'd want that kind of margin in it, because after you've paid the VAT and after you've paid for those things, you've probably got less than £1,000 margin in it. It wouldn't take a lot to spend on a car this age, depending, as I said earlier, on who you got and what their expectations were. So that's what I'd do with it. As always, guys, at the end of the video, there's my contact details if anyone wants to get in contact with about it. It is this car is worth $3,000 all day long, so it's not 2,900, 2,800. Do check how far away I am from you, because I am in North Devon, Barnstable, so check that before you start messaging me. And please, no offence, I have been to highlight this for a while, and it's not any particular person, but I have had a lot of occasions where people get excited about cars for somebody else, and then they message me and have me do videos for them and all sorts of things, and then they actually approach the person that they're thinking of, and they go, "Oh, no, I'd never have it in that colour," or "No, I don't like Volvos." So please, I know some of you get excited about the cars and think that'll be perfect for someone, but please do check with them first that they're interested before messaging me. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. Only about 30% of you are subscribed. It costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe. It just notifies you when I release videos. So if you want to know what happens with the Volvo, then hit that subscribe button and you'll get a notification as soon as I put out the next video. Many thanks. Catch you again soon.